I didn't see Gino the fighter coming, I'll be honest. I like that I saw some fight in him, right? So, do I think he was going to beat Florian? No.
Welcome back to Behind the Drama, where we're going to be getting into all the drama that happened on last night's episode of 90 Day The Last Resort. From Gino and Jasmine recommitting to each other.
It has been such a hard process. But we don't want to lose each other, and we're going to try our best.
To Rob and Sophie calling it quits.
I promise you, I've really tried. He's not happy.
Neither am I.
And Gino's almost fight with Florian.
I need an emotional connection.
People taking Gino's side. But Gino is the problem is. Do sex with your wife and find a solution.
You kicked her out for Christmas. He's
I didn't kick her out, man.
Yes.
You got the story wrong, bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Guys. Shut your mouth. We're stupid dad. Stupid.
I'm not gonna take your.
Wait, guys.
Today we're joined by Patrick and John. How are you both feeling today?
After all the drama's done, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know about them, but I'm awesome, I'm excited.
So this episode was wild. We have to get into the phone call with Jasmine, Matt, and Gino.
When I don't see that she is taken care of the way she should be, it's kind of heartbreaking because Jasmine is, she can be a little bit of a brat, but she has a good heart.
I appreciate that, but I'd rather just leave that between her and I.
What were you both thinking while watching that unfold?
Well, for me personally, I was just like, I don't know how you're supposed to have that conversation in the first place, right? How do you go about, talking to someone that's going to be your wife? I don't know. I've never had that situation. Usually I'm good in situations. I just, I wouldn't be prepared for that one.
The most painful and awkward conversations I've ever seen on reality TV.
Now, what do both of you think about the open marriage situation in general? Do you think this was ever a good idea?
I think when it comes to open marriages, sometimes people already have that in them, right? That's something they've done in their life. This looks like more like Gino's being put in a situation that he's not used to of being in an open relationship. So I don't think Gino's part of the open relationship, philosophy, to be honest with you. Neither am I, but I ain't going to be forced to do it either.
Yeah, open marriage, definitely not something I've ever tried to explore. I mean, it's hard enough just keeping one person happy. I couldn't imagine keeping two, but hey, it's something people do.
After that, the group went for a night out, and things got wild when Gino and Florian, of all people, almost got into a fight.
Let's keep the story straight, man. Listen to me.
Okay.
Guys,
Let's keep it straight, guys.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Stupid dad. Shut your mouth.
I'm not gonna take your.
Wait, hold on. Wait, guys.
Were you shocked? I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't see Gino the fighter coming, I'll be honest. I like that I saw some fight in him, right? So do I think he was going to beat Florian? No. But I like that at least I saw the fight in Gino. He's willing to fight for his woman.
Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with Gino, and I never saw him erupt, but I really think this open marriage thing was getting to him, and he's basically on his last straw.
And what did you both think about how Rob and Florian, they were both saying that the whole situation with Matt, they didn't think it was going to work, and they think Gino shouldn't let Matt be the one in the open relationship. Do you agree with that?
So for once in my life, I actually agreed with Rob, and I thought it was pretty smart what he said, because it's true. They already have a connection. So if you're going to do this, this is the wrong situation for that. You got to start fresh. And obviously, we can tell by her answer, there is something going on. They do have a connection. They're more than friends.
Yeah, it was pretty clear, Jasmine already had a relationship with Matt, and, this was more her way of trying to get around of not being a cheater. And, definitely would not want to start an open relationship with someone that basically she already has a relationship with.
And at the recommitment ceremony, Jasmine and Gino, they ended up deciding to stay together and open up their marriage.
I feel like
Gino agreed to this open marriage just because he wants to keep Jasmine happy. And I'm happy that they're deciding to stay together, but it's a sticky situation. You know, if they love each other, I guess they'll figure it out.
How do you think this is going to play out for them? I know obviously we know now that Matt and Jasmine are expecting a baby, but try to suspend disbelief. Like what would you think if you had just seen this without knowing that?
We've got to watch Jasmine and Gino for a long time. Jasmine's like one of the most jealous people on the show. And just like from her perspective, I don't know how this open relationship would work at all.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Now, obviously, we do know that Jasmine and Matt are expecting a child. Like, we know this. How do you think Gino's reacting? What do you make of this situation?
Well, I mean, I think like any situation, something gets thrown on you. If he loves her, so he's trying to make this work. He probably understands that he's not fulfilling her needs. But I think in the end, you'll find out that, that's not how life works, right? Somebody's going to give her the attention you're not giving her. And I don't think it's a good success. It's not a recipe for a healthy relationship. So what are they doing here?
Yeah, Gino he has to be heartbroken. I mean, he wanted to have a child by Jasmine in the very beginning, and that never happened. She was against it. And now, they started this open relationship and she's pregnant from another man, and it's just got to be devastating.
Would you want to see more of their story? Because I want to know what happened. Like, I want to know how this all came out. Like, would you want to see more of them on another season of the show?
I've watched Jasmine and Gino from the very beginning, and I definitely want to see how it ends or if it ends. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them on another season if that happens.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to stay tuned and see what happens. But as for the other couples, Rob and Sophie ended up calling it quits. What did you think about the message that she read to her younger self?
I kind of felt like Sophie's message to her younger self was a little sad and off-putting, and it almost felt like she was talking about what Rob did to her as her younger self and how she'd grown in the relationship. I don't know. I felt like it was a little dramatic.
And how did you feel when you saw how Rob handled things and finding out that he actually did want to recommit to her? I felt bad for him. He seemed really sad.
I actually felt bad for Rob too. And it's so funny because you go up and down with the stories, right? Because you find out new things about people and, people progress in their stories and stuff. And, I found myself kind of felt bad for Rob. I was just like, wow, and, I think this is going to be the best for them, though. They both need to go their own way,
Yeah, I did feel bad for Rob, but at the same time, I felt some relief that I'm glad Sophie went first because it kind of ended it for him. He seemed someone that was just going to keep dragging it along. And they were always taking shots at each other for 2 years. And so I was happy I'm happy for them that it ended. I think it's going to be better for them.
Well, another person who showed up to the commitment ceremony was Natalie. She showed up solo. She wanted to commit to herself. But what kind of partner do you think would be good for her in the future?
I mean, Natalie's got to find somebody as crazy as she is. That's for sure. You got to match the energy. And also find someone who's actually there for her. I honestly didn't think that, he was at all really for her. I think she needs to find somebody that's going to be there, support her acting career, and everything that's for her. She's a good person. I met her. She's nice and everything. Obviously, high energy. And it's going to take a special man to be able to deal with Natalie.
Yeah, I think Natalie needs to look for someone that's like a rock and just settled, knows what he wants, is clear about it, because she'll be the one with ideas everywhere floating around, and she's kind of all over the place. And I think she just needs someone to balance her out.
Why did you finally agree to bring my parents to US?
I think I was too focused on how we were going to make it all work. And as I was standing up there in that moment, I think I realized maybe our relationship at this point is strong enough that we can work through it. If you're with the right person, you can make it work no matter how hard it is.
A couple that did make it out in a happy relationship is Brandon and Julia. They recommitted. He agreed to help bring her parents over. Were you happy for them seeing how far they've come this season?
I mean, I'm really happy for them because they've gone through a lot, obviously with the cheating and everything in there, they've gone through. And you know what? Somebody's got to come out of this, right? Happy and working out. So you got to root for successful ones. And, we'll see what what leads them in the future, though. We'll see how it goes.
Say dua.
Love you.
I love you.
I'm glad we're both recommitted.
I feel like we're setting the tone for a better future together. And this is exactly all I've ever really wanted.
I know believe in therapy before, and I'm surprised I learned little things from therapy, you know?
Babe, I just want you to know that I'm really proud of you.
Well, another couple that ended up staying together was Florian and Stacy. What have you thought about their relationship this season?
Honestly, I thought they were one of the more successful relationships in this season. For me, I could see how they work. I could see how it all fits together. And also, they're one of the older couples too, maybe. So maybe that has to do with it too. We got one young couple that came through, one older couple, and the rest fall.
Yeah, Florian and Stacy, I mean, it kind of seemed like to me like he was kind of, going out and maybe getting things other places, and Stacy kind of like looked over some things. I didn't really get too much of like a clear answer on them, but they've been together for a while, and it seems like, they're gonna stick together no matter what, and they're happy that way.
And as for both of you, you're both fan favorites. People love following both of your stories. Would both of you like to come back for another season in the future?
I mean, yeah, you never know, right? And we're always open, have some fun. I always find it fun. I mean, Patrick might not find it as fun as I find it, but I always have a blast.
No, honestly, me and Thais, like we really enjoy our time on the show. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to come back for another season. I think we get treated really well, and like for us, it's a very like fun thing to do. It's almost we miss it when the camera's on.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. And thank you so much for watching Behind the Drama. Make sure to check out 90 Day The Last Resort Monday nights on TLC.